Want to know why I think Bitcoin could potentially hit 100,000 US dollars in the next 5 months? Make sure to pay attention till the end of the video. 你们好，我是小德叔叔。Welcome back to my channel here on Bilibili. Today I would like to share with you my current investment strategy and how I think the stock and crypto markets are going to perform over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. Because I think we are heading towards some quite interesting and possibly lucrative times. But let's start in the very beginning. In June of 2022, I published a post on TradingView where I said that peak inflation, historically speaking, was also always the time when the low of a stock market was inbound. Back then, I said that once we would see US inflation coming down from its level of more than 9%, back then it probably would be a great time to start buying stocks and cryptocurrencies. On November 22nd, 2022, after US inflation finally started trending lower, I followed up and openly said on social media that this now would be the perfect time to buy stocks and buy Bitcoin. At a time where almost everybody else was bearish and the S&P 500 was trading below 4,000 points and Bitcoin was trading at 16,000 US dollars. Since then, I've doubled down over and over again on my opinion that the current prices in stocks and cryptocurrencies are still not the best we've seen, and the hype is actually just getting started. Now, you might ask yourself, of course, if maybe I've lost my mind, because the price swings to the upside we've seen in crypto and tech stocks have been crazy already. And surely what goes up must come down eventually, right? While it is correct that there will be for sure major corrections to the downsides, those corrections are, in my opinion, good opportunities to buy and not to panic sell. But let's look at my hypothesis that the next 12 to 18 months will be extremely lucrative in more detail. The US Federal Reserve Bank will start cutting interest rates very soon. While the first reaction to interest rate cuts usually is that the stock markets see declining prices due to a fundamental reason such as a recession leading to the need for interest rate cuts, longer term they lead to money pouring into so-called risk-on markets, such as stocks and cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin. This makes sense, as investors will rather risk their money for the chance to earn, for example, 8 to 10% yearly on the stock markets than getting 0 to 2% return on investment from, for example, treasury bonds. With economies being so worldwide interconnected nowadays, this is something almost every stock market around the world should profit from, also the Chinese stock market. The US presidential election pattern. On November 5th, 2024 will be the next presidential election in the USA. Looking back at how the stock markets performed after the last 3 elections, we've seen almost identical patterns every time. 1 to 1.3 years of well-performing stock markets, followed by 1.6 years of more difficult times for risk-on assets. As a trader and investor, these types of patterns are exactly what you should look for, and they are, in my opinion, what come closest to the perfect investment setup. But it gets even better if we look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has developed long-term, in my opinion, into a very predictable asset, as it goes over and over again through 4-year cycles. 3 years with rising prices, followed by 1 year of a severe bear market. So far, this pattern is also holding up again for 2024. On top of that, we always see about 180 to 300 days after each Bitcoin halving that Bitcoin enters a bull market frenzy, where prices go to levels that were previously deemed as unrealistic. On the chart, this is the area between the green band and the upper red band, where the Bitcoin price usually will top out eventually before entering a bear market again. 180 days from the last halving in April of 2024 puts us to the end of October, beginning of November of 2024. 300 days into the future from the last halving puts us to mid-February 2025. So if history repeats itself, we are actually not far away anymore from the time where Bitcoin could go ballistic to the upside again with prices north of 100,000 US dollars. Only then to top out somewhere end of 2025 or early 2026 at maybe $200,000 or higher. Now, putting all of these three things together, US interest rate cuts, the presidential election pattern, and Bitcoin being due for a massive bull run lead me to the conclusion that the upside potential in stocks and Bitcoin at the moment is far greater than the risk associated with such an investment. As the frenzy unfolds, it will be hard to keep a clear head and to know when it's time to cash in your profits and take your chips off the table. But don't worry, I will of course inform you here and in my social media groups as well when I'm starting to sell my positions. Now, of course, this is only my own opinion, and please do not just blindly follow anyone's opinion, but form your own one too. As voted earlier, we've decided to have our group chat on Telegram, where you will be able to access my most recent views on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So please stay tuned for the Telegram group link in the next video. And most importantly, 一键三连. See you next time.